haves and the have-nots, right? Now it's the have-nots and the have-yachts. We no longer are, there's no longer a position anymore where our kid, can go off to the local city college and work his way up and then get up into that upper class position anymore through hard work and sweat equity. It's becoming more and more difficult to bridge the middle class. And that's important to me. So one of the things that I spent my time doing was developing real estate curriculum to teach to high school students and to adults, which I also had translated live in Spanish because I wanted to empower people to climb economic classes. And one of the ways that we can do that, and the best ways that we can do that, is through entrepreneurship. So you've got 10 ways in which we can all stand together. Then you've got this anti-war movement, which is as old as time. And in fact, in the 1960s, they started to try to call for something called the peace dividend. Is anybody aware of what the peace dividend is? So what happened was the American people realized how much money we are spending on war. I don't know if anyone want to take a stab at what our annual Department of Defense budget is?
80 billion.
80 billion? Anybody else?
800 billion?
800 billion? It's $887 billion a year.
God.
Almost $1 trillion. So if we were to take that money, this is the idea of the peace dividend, take that money, actually spend a portion of it on defense, not offense, and then give the rest of it back to the American people. So that's what they were trying to do to get the American people involved in the anti-war movement, because as of that time in the 1960s, 1965, 1966, 67, the war had been dragging on for 20 years. And a lot of people weren't seeing an end of it. And so the anti-war movement was huge, and ultimately you saw RFK Jr. assassinated, you saw JFK Jr. assassinated, then we saw Dr. Martin Luther King was speaking out heavily against the war. And he was also working on something called the Poor People's Campaign. And in fact, it was the Poor People's Campaign that he was working on when he was assassinated in 1968.